Hey everybody, and welcome to the 43rd episode of the Foundation First Fitness Show with Bobak Owen. Today we will be discussing something very related to running and more related to running, but it's still something that I think you can very easily apply to any type of activity. It doesn't have to be running. It could be another sport. It could be rehab. It can be really anything within that spectrum. Really just has to understand, you really just have to understand the concept that I'm going to be approaching this with so that you can better understand what you need to do and you can kind of take the pieces, put them together and essentially build yourself a similar schedule. So having said schedule, today basically what we're going to be discussing is how to build yourself a schedule for your workouts when you're running. And I don't mean running workouts as in how many kilometers you should do on which day. That's more designed for someone who's a running coach, someone who has a lot of experience in that, and it also plays into your ability to withstand the volume that you're trying to put yourself up to. What I want to be discussing today is the actual workouts. And the reason I say that is because when you think about everything, when you think about every other type of workout regimen-based activity, so whether you're trying to do bodybuilding, fitness, weight loss, things like that, we usually have a very good understanding. You know, if you're very experienced, you can do up to 6 days per week, targeting a different body parts every single every single day, every single workout. If you are very early on and you're kind of a rookie, then 3 to 4 and generally full body would almost suffice, and the volume will be relatively low. But when you're a runner, it's a little bit different because we're not really trying to build a specific muscle group each and every day, right? We're not going to try to build our biceps. We're not going to build our triceps. We're not going to build our shoulders up to that extent because in essence, we don't really need them. I mean, if you're trying to run and you want to build and do some kind of bodybuilding while still running like a marathon, like you could maybe pull it off, but you got to remember that you're pulling from different extremes. But if you're just that runner and you're trying to prep yourself for, let's say, something like a New York City Marathon, which just passed a couple of weekends ago, and you're trying to, improve your performance for the next time you do this race, then your scheduling is really going to have to be on point. And this is something I'm going through a lot with my runners, is trying to get them to understand that concept of when you are trying to run, you want to make sure that your schedule is lining up to give you the best chance to perform the best on each and every day. And this is a really important concept because a lot of things that go into scheduling a workout are very important. When we talk about scheduling a workout itself, we're thinking about things like how much should you be doing, how much should you be doing on each specific day, what type of workouts should I be doing on each specific day, and should I be repeating these different types of workouts? So when we look at these, when I look at these questions and I think about a way to really approach this, I really look at two main factors. One, what is the experience of the runner? Obviously, that's a huge component. Is the runner a seasoned runner? Have they done a bunch of marathons or Ironmans and they're trying to just kind of, I know an Ironman and a marathon are not the same thing. I know they're not extended versions of each other. I understand it's a swim, bike, run for an Ironman. I knew that stuff. I'm just saying if you are running, this is something, or if you are doing that, you might want to think about that too. But I want to know if you're an experienced person in running. Have you had lots of experience running? And are you also experienced in the weight room? Because that will also play into effect here. It will come into effect here and will play a large part in the way we're going to be structuring your workout. So that's the first thing. The second thing I want to know is, how is running affecting your body? So yes, running is obviously, I know that it does a lot of wear and tear on the body itself. When we think about knees, we think about back, we think about cartilage, we think about joints, we think about ligaments and all that stuff. Yes, it has a huge, huge impact on every single person's body because it is a repetitive movement that we are trying to push ourselves to exhaustion. So what actually happens that's making this a little bit more important as a factor when you're trying to schedule your workouts is that you have to understand that doing something that's very almost light to moderate intensity for an extended period of time, the negative effects and the consequences will gradually creep up on you. It's not like something where you're going to go into the gym, you're going to try to lift your heaviest weight possible. That you're going to notice right away that you're getting fatigued and your technique's falling apart. When you're trying to squat 500 pounds and the bar is collapsing on top of you, you're like squirming to get out of it. You're going to have some clue that you're probably not doing it properly. You might want to take a step back and maybe give yourself a little bit of a break. When you're running, your body's you're not thinking of that anymore. The pain usually comes on pretty quickly, but you're almost trying to push yourself past it to keep going. So it's a gradual shift in your body's mechanics, right? There is a natural breakdown of your tissue, but there's a shift in your mechanics, which is why I'm saying that every single person that's shifting in mechanics is going to be different, because it really comes down to how your body is naturally going to be sitting before that run. So are you sitting in a nice proper position before you start, or are you already behind the 8 ball from the get-go? So what I usually tell people is that you want to make sure that you're looking at your workouts in 2 ways. And very simply put, it's the everyday workout and the every other day workout. So something that would go into an everyday workout, let's say for someone who is someone who's a very veteran runner, someone who's been doing a lot of running, someone who's been in the weight room a lot and who's been kind of seasoned in the weight room and kind of knows their way around the gym, has been doing workouts for a very long time, knows what they should be doing as a runner, is doing the right things for their body, given that same situation. I'm assuming all the positive things for this runner. I would tell you that if you are doing this for a very long time, you might want to focus more on foam rolling. It doesn't mean that you're not going to want to do mobility and activation exercises, but those things are not going to take the brunt of your time. You're going to want to spend more time doing foam rolling, getting a massage, doing those types of things that are going to be almost taking care of your body. It's more tissue quality as opposed to activation, because the activation portion, your body almost understands how to do pretty well, and you don't really have to spend a lot of time teaching it. You're just trying to reduce the amount of wear that came about from that run. So if you're a seasoned runner, you want to spend a little bit more time doing tissue quality work. If you're a rookie runner, if you're new to running, then you're going to want to spend a little bit more time getting your body into that right position, which is why I'm saying activation is a little bit more important for you. Yes, soft tissue and tissue quality is really important, but your body's not being exposed to as much wear. It is being exposed to a relatively large amount of wear, because if you're a rookie, you haven't been exposed to it, so the intensity and your volume and your capacity is a little lower. I know that. I'm saying in general, your body's not being exposed to as much, so you still have a little bit more of a threshold, but you have a little higher threshold to move with, that's going to allow you to not need to do as much soft tissue work, even though I think it's important. If you have time, do it. But if you're a little bit short on time, which most people that are doing running and that have a life and they're actually working are kind of experiencing, you want to spend some time. You want to spend the majority of your time doing activation stuff and mobility, because that's what's going to be putting your body in the right position before you get out for your runs or when you're coming back from your run. And so that would be what an everyday workout would look like. It's going to be very light, very corrective strategy in nature, a little bit more like repetition based, right? We're trying to just hit this thing every single day, so our body and our brain understands those kinds of habits, and we kind of develop that as part of a regular routine. Now, those things can be repeated on the every other day workouts as well. So you can actually have that as, it's almost like your warm up, your activation prior to your workout, and you would have that right before your actual every other day workout. Now, for an every other day workout, I mean, there are a bunch of things. There's obviously you want to have somewhat of a strong upper body to be able to balance out your lower body throughout the movements. You're going to want to have a nice core, but you're not trying to carry too much weight. Too much weight in your upper body is going to be a little bit of a limiting factor, because you're carrying useless weight. Your arms can't get onto the ground and help you run, so you bench pressing 185 pounds or 225 pounds is not going to make you a better marathon runner. You don't need to squat 250 pounds at the same token, because it's not going to help you, because you maximally lifting weight is not going to make you more of an endurance runner. You need to be doing the things that are going to be putting your body in the right position, as with that activation, but at the same time training your body while you're in that position. So getting an understanding of, you can kind of go into those 6 rep range and those 8 to 10 rep ranges to be able to build some muscle and get a little bit of strength in there, but you don't need to be heading too much further than that because your body's not really used to it, and exposing yourself to that for an extended period of time is just going to put more wear on your body. You don't need that. What you're going to be doing in those every other day workouts is probably doing things like trying to balance out the infamous quad to hamstring ratio, building some ankle stability at the tail end of your workouts, doing some good hip hinging movements so you can get a nice dissociation from that low back to that hip to get you to move nice and smoothly. Those are the things you're going to want to spend some time doing when you are doing your every other day workouts, and obviously doing some nice core routines with a nice progression. Remember that if you sit down on a plank for too long, it's not going to help you. So you're going to want to be able to balance that out as best you can. So this is probably going to be, this episode is a little bit more geared towards you understanding the concept and the global concept of it, of knowing what you should be doing, as opposed to you having a practical thing that you can take back and do every single day. This is basically what I wanted to do with this was essentially give you a better idea of how to schedule your workouts throughout the week, because I know a lot of individuals were struggling with this. They were always asking me, like, when do I do what on what day? So I think it's better that you understand that. Now, having said that, I would always recommend that you try to take at least 1 day of complete rest. In that complete rest day, if you want to do something like foam rolling or get a massage, you're more than welcome to. That is a very recovery specific activity. I would highly, highly, highly recommend that. So if you guys have any questions about your workouts, or if you actually wanted to send me one of your workout schedules and let me kind of play around with it and give me some of your experience, I'd love to do that for you guys. You guys can always reach out to me on social media. Very vocal there, so you guys can always reach out and talk to me. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think about this episode. If you guys are listening to the podcast, hope you are having a great start of your day, middle of your day, end of your day, wherever it is. Hope you guys are safe and enjoying your day, and hope you are here next time as I'm starting to put podcasts, hopefully trying to get them back to 2 times a week, because I think that was a nice pace to be going on. I really want to start trying to get that done, hopefully lead that right into the new year. And until the next time, guys, keep building that foundation.